Brought to you by Eco Alkalines, environmentally responsible batteries, cat5.tv/eco.
Here is an email from Daniel.
Now, do you proofread these, or do you just pull them up and there they are?
I just kind of pull them up.
All right.
Have you proofed them?
I don't know. Let's take a look. What do you got?
I'm going to read it real slow then, just in case.
There we go.
All right.
Fill the hour.
All right. So the question is, I'm writing this with tears in my eyes. Oh, my family and I came down to Madrid, Spain, for a short vacation. Unfortunately, we were mugged at the park of the hotel where we stayed. Oh, all cash, credit card, and cell phone were stolen off us, but luckily for us, we still had our passports. That is lucky.
That sounds terrible.
We've been to the embassy and the police, but they're not helping issues at all. They told us to wait for 2 to 3 weeks before anything can be done, and our flight leaves in a few hours' time, but we're having problems sorting out our hotel bills, and the hotel manager won't let us leave until we have all our bills settled. And also the hotel wouldn't accept any third-party payments such as credit cards.
Yikes.
Because their credit card machine is faulty at the moment. Wondering if you can loan us some cash. We promise to refund it once we get back. Let me know if you can help us out so I can give you the needed information to wire the money to us here in Madrid, Spain. It has been so embarrassing for me and my family. Please help us out of this terrible situation. We're freaked out at the moment. I need your urgent assistance.
Yeah.
Thanks. Wow.
How does that make you feel?
Awful and scared and just... Could you imagine that being your situation?
Well,
when you think of it that way, you're just
you get
petrified.
We get this email, and poor Daniel. Daniel, man, if only you were a real person, I would be so concerned for you right now. But here's the thing.
It's not a real person?
It's not a real person.
What a meanie.
But it's a real email received in our inbox. And here's how it works. We've talked about phishing scams. We've talked about how people will try to trick you into giving them money or your personal information for identity theft, things like that. These kinds of emails are interesting because they're done one of two ways usually. One, a virus gets into your system, a Trojan horse or something, and what it does, this is scary, what it does is it gets your address book and it mashes everything up, and it sends everyone an email, but it makes it look like it's from a legitimate person in the address book. So I might actually get it, and it will look like it's from Krista Wells. And oh my goodness, Krista Wells is stuck in Spain. Well, sure, I'm going to wire her some money, absolutely. The next step, if I respond to that, and I've been through this with viewers and with customers, the next step is you respond, and then they say, well, I can't correspond by phone because my cell phone is busted and they won't let me use it. I've been arrested now and they won't let me use the phone. You know, these kinds of things. It's all a trick. And I know two particular individuals who have unfortunately fallen for this and have wired $1,000 at a time.
Oh no.
And never would see that money. So the tough thing with this situation is they look so real, they sound so real, and they seem to be from real people that you know. I'm going to tell you the second scenario. Here's one that actually happened, and I was involved with the recovery of this. A gentleman had traveled wherever he went for pleasure. It was a vacation with his family, and he brought his iPhone. And for some reason, he had his iPhone settings set up so that it was not using a secure connection to the email server. So every time he would check his email, it would transmit his password over a non-secure connection. He wouldn't know any better. It's the same as it's always been. But remember, he's traveling, very high usage rates. What's the first thing he's going to do? He's going to look for a public Wi-Fi terminal. And he's going to get connected to the Wi-Fi because then he's not having to pay this massive data bill because he's way down south. So he connects to Wi-Fi, and there's somebody that's connected to that same Wi-Fi with a packet sniffer, and they are monitoring all this unencrypted traffic. Could be somebody in a coffee shop with a laptop. Could be somebody who works there if they're malicious. But it could be just any Joe within range of that Wi-Fi signal. Could be somebody living in the apartment just down the street. You've got about on a good day, you've got about 2 miles that those things will reach. So somebody sits down and there's packet sniffing, and here's this guy from Canada. traveling on pleasure, I now have his email password. So what do? I also have his mail server information, all that stuff. So I can log into his email, I can check his email, find out who the people are that are in his contact list, and find out more information about him, get to the bottom of who this guy is, who he communicates with. And now I'm going to send this email. I'm going to spoof my email address so it looks like I'm Daniel, because this is my good friend Daniel, right? And I'm going to say that I'm in big trouble, wire money now. And people, unfortunately, do fall for it because it seems really real.
Well, especially if
How
it
did we
comes
get all
from
this
someone
info?
that you're sure you know.
It's going to look like it's coming from somebody that you know.
That's scary.
Yeah. Usually from address books and things like that. Sometimes you can catch it, sometimes you can't. As a home user, you probably are going to have a harder time catching it. In business, all of a sudden I get one from a customer or something, and it's obvious they're not going to ask me for this because they might have bought a product off of me 5 years ago, right?
Yeah.
So it's pretty obvious. But when you're at home and somebody who is, a friend of your cousin, and you know who they are and you trust them and everything, and all of a sudden, this is really scary stuff. So just a little heads up for you. You got to watch for those kinds of things. And I'm going to stress again, we mentioned it last week on the show, if ever you're in doubt about an email that you've received, if you get an email and you're not too sure, and viewers have done this, viewers have forwarded me emails and said, is this real? And I'll research it, and I'll look into it, and I'll make sure, and I'll give you links, and I'll give you proof so that you know beyond a shadow of a doubt whether or not this is real. Sometimes I've received some that they've said, I've got an email here, it looks like it's from my bank, it seems a little bit fishy, is it real? And I've looked into it, I've investigated, I've even gone so far as contacting the companies involved. And just to find out, just to keep you safe. So if you're ever in doubt, email live@category5.tv, and
Robbie will help you out.
That said, if you are truly in need in Spain, just let us know. We try to help.
Category 5 TV is a production of Prodigy Digital Solutions and is licensed under Creative Commons Attribution 2.5 Canada. Thanks for watching.